Morning, guys. Okay, so on the Tuesday we go. And I got a couple of things that I want to talk about today. Neither one of them I want to get too far in depth with. I'm not going to make you sit here for a half an hour listening to me. God knows that'd be torture. But a couple of things that I found interesting as I was kind of delving through stuff, kind of trying to find out what's going on in the world, and of course, analyzing it, which is kind of the way I do things. But I wanted to run this one by you, all right? And so, talked yesterday about the latest shooting in Minnesota, okay? So be it. Talked about that. We'll let the cards shake out as they may, and we'll go from there. But I want to go back to the trial real quick that's going on with Derek Chauvin. And this is what I was kind of digging in, I found a little interesting. Now, if you all know who's prosecuting the trial here, okay, it's Keith Ellison, all right? And if you don't know who Keith Ellison is, I'm just going to read a quick biography on him, okay? Ellison's an American politician and lawyer serving as the 30th Attorney General of Minnesota. A member of the Democratic Farmer Labor Party, Ellison was the U.S. representative for Minnesota's 5th Congressional District from 2007 to 2019. He also served as the deputy chair of the Democratic National Committee from 2017 to 2018. He lost to Tom Perez, and Tom Perez had appointed him as deputy chair. Okay. In Congress, Ellison was the vice chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus and a chief deputy whip. He also sat on the House Committee for Financial Services. Okay, so I want you to go, all right, the guy is an avowed leftist, okay, supported by Bernie Sanders, supported by Chuck Schumer, okay, so, he's an avowed leftist, part of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, so you know what it is, okay. He's also black, so that would be very important for prosecuting the white cop in the killing of George Floyd, okay? I mean, optics here for the media. So this was it. Now, granted, he's the AG, so yeah, in a case like this, probably would be. So here's how it's going. The trial's been going on for a couple of weeks right now. Well, this is where I'm going to speculate a little bit. Apparently, Ellison's not that good of an attorney, okay, because he's getting his ass kicked in court right now. Story came out, a legal analytical story this afternoon that I was reading, from Andrew Branca, Legal Insurrection, who's been following the trial, okay? And he said the prosecution's not having any luck to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Derek Chauvin intended to kill Floyd, or that even his actions to restrain him led to his death, okay? So, and I can get into all these specifics and everything. I just want to give you that as an upside, or as what's the word I'm looking for? Just a broad picture, okay? So the prosecution's losing, which means inevitably Chauvin might be acquitted, okay? And again, remember the old saying is better 10 guilty men go free than one innocent man go to jail, all right? Now, I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm not saying anything. What I'm saying is, could there be a plot here? And I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist. I'm speculating, okay? I'm just putting that out there. This is just something that may be possible. That the state knew they had a bad case from the beginning. And so let's put Ellison in there, who is not he's not in Congress anymore. He lost to be the chair of the DNC. He decided to go back home and be the AG. Nothing wrong with being an AG. It's still a very prestigious position, okay, in those circles. But his political career is not on the upswing, let's put it this way. So could he be being used as the sacrificial lamb? Let's put the black guy prosecuting the white guy, and if he loses, they spin that going, look, the court system isn't even fair, that the white guy was able to beat the black attorney general to stoke fear. Again, I'm going to say this for another time. I'm speculating here, but You know what the motive is right now from the far left. And Ellison is part of the far left. Okay. The goal is to divide and conquer. So, something to think about, something to watch, something to see if you find anything that says, you know what, maybe there's some truth to it. Again, I'm kind of trying to look at this at all angles. I'm not saying this is true or anything. This is what's going on in this squirrel cage. So that was it. But again, I want to talk about all the other things that are we as the conservative pro 45 groups, whatever it was, feeling however we feel. And, I got to watch what I say about what happened. So what's coming out more is what's going on in Washington, D.C. Now, we all remember January 6th, and we know what happened. Okay? And there were some of those protesters that were arrested. Well, apparently, they are being held in jails in D.C., the prisons there, that are basically becoming modern-day gulags. These, and I'm going to call them political prisoners because that's literally what they are. They're being held because of their political belief, okay, are being beaten, tortured, molested by the prison guards. Now, give you a little bit of idea about D.C. D.C. is about 90% blue. Okay, you can pretty much figure all the judges, all the attorneys, and everything, the prosecutors are going to be left-leaning. So we all saw the National Guard surround Washington, D.C. The fences go up. I mean, when have we ever seen an incoming president need, 4,000 troops or whatever to surround Washington to protect him? Okay, let's think about this. And remember, all these guys were vetted to make sure, National Guard troops were vetted to make sure that they were Biden supporters. If you weren't, if you were a Trump supporter, you were sent home, okay? Which, I was standing out and doing nothing at Washington, D.C. I'd rather go home. But so I know people are going to say, oh, yeah, that's just rumors and everything like that. No, it's not, because you've had protesters who have gotten hearings in front of judges and have said in court what is going on. And I'll read this to you here real quick. Okay. There was an inmate by the name of Ronald Sandlin who said they're being held in cells with no human contact for 23 hours a day. Mind you, that's the same penalty you get when you're on death row, okay? Or you are in Supermax or something like that. You get to go out and get recreation time for 1 hour a day, okay? These guys were at the Capitol, okay? But here's his quote. Myself and others involved in the January 6th incident are scared for our lives, not from each other, but from correctional officers. I don't understand how this is remotely acceptable, saying he's been subject to mental torture. Another protester, Ryan Samsell, says he was severely beaten by correctional officers, and he suffers from a skull fracture and a detached retina that has left him blind in one eye from it. When the suspects speak out in court, they're often denied bail and beaten over and over and over again for saying anything by the correctional officers. Does this sound anything like, I don't know, Stalin's gulags, Hitler's concentration camps? This is happening today, April 13th, okay, April 12th, in the United States, in our capital. This is what's going on, okay? So explain to me this one. If this isn't all a concerted effort by the left to completely squash the right and to, just anything they can. By hook or by crook, don't care if it's criminal, whatever. These correction officers, if this is actually going on, they should be standing trial next to Derek Chauvin. This is my point. Same situation. Why is it that Chauvin is a villain? And again, I'm not saying he's guilty or innocent here. As a cop, harming another person. But it's perfectly acceptable for a correction officer, same profession, harming an individual under his control. You see where I'm going with this? It's this massive double standard. Rules for thee and not for me. And here we go again. All right. And I'll finish with this part on this whole thing. Why is it that the people who were, again, wrong by going into Pelosi's office and stealing laptops and taking photographs and doing whatever, okay, even though Congress, AOC was 6 blocks away, who knows? Why are they in gulag conditions, yet the ones in Portland who, attacked a federal courthouse, they're not being called as democratic terrorists. I didn't see any fires burning in D.C., but I saw them burning in Portland. I didn't see a police station in D.C. get completely overrun where the cops left because they weren't safe. I did see that in Portland, okay? I didn't see a Chaz zone in Washington, D.C. for a couple of weeks by conservatives, but I did see it by leftists in Seattle, okay? This is the thing, guys. Law enforcement is now politically motivated, okay? The courts, we know, are politically motivated. I mean, Trump said constantly, I can't believe Obama left me this many federal judgeships to fill. Helpful, but we'll see what happens. But now they're starting to use the court system and the legal system against the people. And this goes right back to Stalin's Russia and Hitler's Germany. There's no other way to put it. I don't care. You want to talk about Pol Pot, you want to talk about Mao Zedong, you want to talk about any of them, all right? This is where we're heading. And not that Biden stands anywhere near, but this isn't one person. This is the entire party doing this all together. And this is what we need to be very careful of. I think it's very, very, very important that you find out where your local, and however local you want to go. If you want to go down to your city council, you want to go down to the mayor, you want to talk to your state representatives, your governor, whatever it is, you can go down the list or up the list as far as you want. You need to find out where they stand. And if they support this kind of crap, i.e. blue state, okay, you need to get the hell out, okay? The time for I can't afford it is over. You need to figure out how to do it. And yeah, it's going to mean changing your life and doing whatever. But guys, I'm just saying this. You're going to wake up one morning and you're going to be living in a police state if you stay there. All right. You've already seen the difference between the red states and the blue states. Not enforcing vaccine passports, DeSantis, not constitutional carry, pick a state, okay, any of these things, versus more lockdowns, restrictions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Guys, if you value your family, if you value your kids, if you value your life, please get the hell out. They're now using the legal system as a political weapon, and that is extremely dangerous. Have a good Tuesday. Pinball out.